welcome to Sundry Sports for Tuesday, July 14th, beginning with Cowboys Wire, brought to you by USA Today. Coach Carter, Cowboys Tom Sula gets JMU stud to mold into star. And this was the top story yesterday, which I just read last night. Oh, I didn't read the whole story. No, I didn't. Round and round they go. Where they stop, only Jim Tom Sula knows. The Dallas Cowboys have trotted out a number of players at right defensive tackle. Blah, blah, blah. Attend this secret money meeting for your bank account. ESPN. Cowboys offensive weapons ranked tops in NFC. Yuppers. Yes, sirree. The Dallas Cowboys are racing toward the deadline to get franchise quarterback Dak Prescott inked to a long-term contract. Well, they don't seem to be racing, but yes, time is short. I don't know why that's such a big deal. He signed the franchise. I guess I'm going to say this every time. Every time this is brought up, he signed the franchise tag. We have him for another year. The onus should be on him to prove himself this year, because he hasn't really given us anything. He's given us some good stats and mediocre records. All right, he should be proving his worth to the front office. At stake is nothing less than blah, blah, blah. I believe there is still a surplus of good quarterbacks out there at the moment, which there probably still will be the end of this year and the end of this season. Yeah, the end of this year. And I don't think that there should be pressure on the Cowboys at all. I think that all the pressure should be on Dak proving himself, proving that he deserves all that money that he wants. Full swing as Cowboys camp approaches, Brandon Knight ready to fight for OT3. I believe I also read that headline last night. One of the strengths of the Dallas Cowboys in recent years has been their offensive line. Yes, it has. Report, Cowboys not expecting Randy Gregory reinstatement, maybe? The Cowboys' expectations a few short months ago were that suspended defensive lineman Randy Gregory and Aldon Smith would both be reinstated. I'll click on that. And that both could play significant snaps for the Dallas defense. These expectations have apparently changed a bit. According to a report by Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, the team has also all but given up hope of defensive end Randy Gregory being reinstated from indefinite suspension. Hill doesn't elaborate on the reasons behind this doubt, but does note the Cowboys roster to begin training camp is now pretty much set. Well, I'd imagine some part of the reason would be that it's taking the NFL so long to reinstate him. I mean, the possibility was raised, 3 months ago? ESPN's Todd Archer chimed in with more details. Randy Gregory's return from an indefinite suspension remains in limbo as training camp approaches, but there is some hope the Dallas Cowboys defensive end can be involved with the organization in some fashion, according to sources. Gregory's application for reinstatement has not been denied by the league, but he has not been cleared to return either. He started the reinstatement process earlier in the offseason. Hill later amended his comment on Twitter with the following noteworthy addition. When I wrote earlier that the Cowboys had all but given up on Randy Gregory's reinstatement, I did not get that information from Jerry or Stephen Jones. Got it from other sources. Stephen has reached out and said the Cowboys still have hope. Nothing is guaranteed. Time will tell. Aldon Smith was reinstated by the league in late May. There have yet to be any public announcements on his counterpart Gregory, leading to pessimism that the former Nebraska standout will be joining Dallas for the upcoming season. The NFL changed its stance on marijuana this offseason, the main culprit of the multiple Gregory suspensions. Gregory was seemingly trending in the right direction, such as Smith is, so the new attitude towards his request for reinstatement is somewhat surprising. Without Gregory, Dallas might have to rely more than they expected on players like the aforementioned Smith, Tyron Crawford, Dorrance Armstrong, and the remaining young prospects on the roster. The team continues to look for a permanent solution opposite Pro Bowler DeMarcus Lawrence. Until the formal decision from the league, the this is still speculation, and there is a chance that the Cowboys hear news on the issue soon. Okie dokie. Brad's deals, up to 80% off every day. Spring clearance sales. Shop now. The last OG. Offensive guard. Cowboys Zach Martin only looks up to Larry Allen, and he's closing in fast. So it should be OG. Cowboys' most storied rival to officially retire Redskins' name and logo. Fucking bullshit. Cowboys news. Tyron Smith ranked top offensive tackle. Ezekiel Elliott overpaid, and I read that last night. Morning Minute. Dak Dallas deadline in 48 hours. Washington franchise name change. I don't think they've announced a name change yet, because they don't have the name yet. What are they calling themselves at the moment? Erp in reverse. Wyatt Miller looking to corral chance to befriend Cowboys organization. I see what you're trying to do there. Hitman contract killer Lyle Collins is Cowboys' best offensive tackle. Who saw that coming? He certainly had his struggles. Thank you to Cowboys Wire. Moving along to the ESPN Daily. Good morning! This time next week, we will be 2 days away from MLB games gracing our televisions again. While I agree that 9 days out is an obscure milestone to draw attention to, I need you to just let me have this one. Here's your ESPN Daily. Listen up. Renaming Washington's football team. It's official. After 87 years, the NFL team from our nation's capital have caved. The NFL team from our nation's capital have completely lost their spine. The NFL team from our nation's capital will be getting a new name. Many believe the change is long overdue, but team owner Dan Snyder has always staunchly resisted the possibility. What possibly could have changed? On today's episode of the ESPN Daily Podcast, ESPN NFL reporter John Keim explains why this time the franchise decided to move on from the name, shares reactions from players and fans, and discusses what this might mean for other teams with Native American-related monikers. For more coverage of the impending name change, you can check out these pieces. Washington's NFL alumni, name change doesn't erase history. Every logo Washington's NFL franchise has ever used. Renaming Washington, the process, hurdles, and fallout. Things to care about. The gymnastics factory. For nearly 4 decades, as athletes came and went, there was one constant presence in Olympic gymnastics. Bella and Martha Carolyi. I have no idea how that name ends. Carolyi is something. Does it repeat somewhere down here? No? Oh, it's just Carolyi. Okay. Oh, Carolius. Bella and Martha Carolius. The coaching duo broke into the world stage in 1976 when their 14-year-old gymnast, Nadia Comaneci, scored the first perfect 10 in Olympic history. 5 years later, the couple defected from communist Romania to the United States, where they were determined to once again climb to the top of their sport. The couple amassed unprecedented power in the sport and brought historic success to the U.S. program, delivering the U.S. 46 Olympic medals during their 32-year reign. As the Carolius' influence grew, so did the importance of the Carolyi Ranch. Is it Carolyi or Carolius? Because if it's Carolyi, then you put the apostrophe in the wrong place up there. From a few rustic buildings within a national forest, it became the center of women elite gymnastics in the United States. When hundreds of athletes detailed sexual abuse by USA Gymnastics national team physician Larry Nassar, some of which occurred at the ranch, questions about the Carolius' accountability arose, as did questions about when coaching crosses the line between tough and abusive, and why it took so long to examine the famous duo's legacy. Maybe because you don't always have to examine people's legacy with a fucking microscope just to see what everything that they could possibly have done wrong that is only now seen as wrong. obviously allowing sexual abuse is wrong, but I'm talking about, tough love, tough coaching. That's necessary to extract the results that you want. The results that make your country proud. In conjunction with the 30 for 30 podcast, heavy metals inside the Karolyi Gymnastics Empire, Bonnie D. Ford and Alyssa Ronick go inside the ranch to examine how the Karolyis built an empire over 3 decades, and at what price. The humbling of Cam Newton. When you think of Cam Newton, you probably think of his larger-than-life persona as much as you do his size, his mobility, and the transcendent talent he displayed during his 2015 MVP-winning season. Ever since Newton's indoctrination in the NFL, the quarterback has drawn ire for being too much, too arrogant, too flashy, his celebrations too celebratory. Rather than having his charisma and confidence seen as assets, the former Carolina Panthers QB1 has been viewed as someone who needs humbling. The undefeated's Martenzie Johnson argues that the lack of interest in Cam this offseason and his current contract with the New England Patriots since free agency was introduced to the NFL in 1993, Since free agency was introduced to the NFL in 1993, just 5 MVP-winning quarterbacks have joined a new team via free agency. Of those 5, Newton is the sole quarterback to sign a contract worth less than $3 million per season, are the result of the belief that Newton needs to be humbled more than the result of his lingering injury concerns. Surprise players for all 22 teams. Matthew Dellavedova, Danny Green, Ron Artest, the list goes on. Every year in the NBA postseason, heroes are made. Relative unknowns become household names as role players seize their moments. This season will be no different. Okay, to be fair, this season is drastically different, but it's for that very reason that there could be an even greater influx of players stepping up to carry additional loads because of teammates not going into the bubble. From Dante DiVincenzo to Kyle Kuzman to Shabazz Napier, here are the guys our NBA insiders think are primed to surprise. Things to watch. Lamar Jackson in disbelief over his Madden rating. How are you going to do your cover athlete like that, Madden? Lamar Jackson joined SportsCenter to have his Madden NFL 21 rating revealed and was, how should I put this, underwhelmed by what he learned. Jackson, the reigning NFL MVP, who finished with a 92 rating in his rookie season, received a mark of 94. For reference, Patrick Mahomes received a 99, and Deshaun Watson earned an 86 rating in the video game world. I wish it was better. I guess we can roll with it, Jackson said. A little added motivation for the upcoming season, but trust. At the end of the day, while Jackson's disappointment was valid, his Madden fate isn't as bad as that of Saquon Barkley, who didn't rank among the top 5 running backs with an 89. Mad disrespectful. Why does this matter to anybody? Overheard. I saw some stuff on social media where guys were playing bags. Let me just tell you something. I come from the sticks. Number 1, number 2, I went to the University of Illinois. I am nice at bags, so anybody can meet me there. Heat center Myers Leonard on playing cornhole in the NBA bubble. Okay. Remember when? An epic showdown between a couple of legends. On this date last year, Novak Djokovic outlasted Roger Federer in a marathon 5th set tiebreaker to win his 5th Wimbledon title and 16th Grand Slam. The match included a 35-shot rally. 35 shots. That is all. Until next time, remember, yesterday, the Kings' Richaun Holmes risked it all, crossed the Disney campus line for delivery food. Now he has to quarantine for 8 more days. When his mom caught wind what went down, she tweeted, "You only crossed the line for your mama's cooking." And if that's not a word, I don't know what is. Okay. This has been your ESPN Daily for Tuesday, July 14th, 2020. Very nice. Last and possibly least, Yahoo Sports Read and React. Trending. Which quarterback got a perfect Madden rating for 2020? Take a wild guess. NFL reveals face shield designed to protect players from infection. Blah. Tony Stewart launches new racing series starting in 2021. What's going to happen if, let's say, a player does have it and they're completely asymptomatic the whole time, and they have to sit there watching their team play, watching, things go on without them, and they just have to sit there being completely well, possibly being aware of the fact that it's almost impossible to transmit the disease when you are asymptomatic, and they just have to sit there. That's not going to go over well. Although, I may be wrong, because if somebody tests positive during the season, maybe everything is going to be shut down again. Tony Stewart launches new racing series starting in 2021. Russell Westbrook in quarantine after testing positive for COVID-19. What's in a name? By Jay Busby. Good morning, friends, and please welcome your new Washington Warlocks, Wyverns, Walruses, whatever. Washington's getting a new NFL team name. Whether you or I agree with this decision is irrelevant. Team owner Daniel Snyder made the retirement formal Monday after getting pressure from the real power in this country, sponsors. Ugh. And do you know where sponsors get pressure from? Because it's not from the majority, it's from whoever yells the loudest and scares them. So that's why this is fucking bullshit. That's why this is all cowardice. Because it's not really what everybody wants. It's just what the loud, tantrum-having little babies want, who probably don't even watch football. FedEx, Nike, Amazon, and PepsiCo did what decades of protests never could. Turned Snyder's never declaration on changing the name into fine whatever. So it's happening. Yeah, exactly. A fine whatever. And congratulations, you won a fine whatever. Big victory there. The big question now, what will the new name be? Our Charles Robinson notes that it's fairly clear Snyder never thought this day would come, since he hadn't bothered to register trademarks on a bunch of viable options like Warriors and Red Tails. That's what led to Monday's strange state of affairs in which Washington announced it was retiring the Redskins name while not yet committing to a replacement, because Snyder hadn't yet secured the rights to his preferred name. Much like his team on the field, Snyder is getting worked over in the intellectual property space. A Virginia-based author and actuary has gone and registered multiple potential names, including many of the ones listed above. Some of those trademarks were registered as recently as July 5th. Right around the time Washington was talking about a possible name change. Whoops. Thing is, changing the name of an 88-year institution isn't as simple as painting over a couple signs and telling people to call you the Washington Wolverines or whatever. No, rebranding is a process better measured in years, not days. As our Jeff Eisenberg notes, branding experts say that changing a franchise's entire brand identity is a difficult, expensive, arduous process. No idea will get universal approval, and no one will come away completely happy. Whatever name the team chooses, it'll sound weird as hell for a couple years, and then we'll all get used to it. I have an idea. Here's my idea. The Washington Squaws. Do it. I bet you that's not registered already. When's the last time you blinked at Tennessee Titans? And that one felt like a name from a movie that couldn't get the rights to reveal NFL franchises. What? That one felt like a name from a movie that couldn't get the rights to reveal NFL franchises. Okay. So what new name would you pick? Oh, I see what you're saying. So what new name would you pick? A recent Yahoo Sports poll favored Red Tails and Warriors above all other ideas. Yay or nay, what say you? Me, I'm thinking Washington Waffles would be awesome. Yeah, I liked the Warriors idea. I hadn't heard that had come up. Obviously, it would have come up somewhere, but I thought of it too. And yeah, it's a good name, except for the fact that no, They don't earn that name. Not with this. The very fact that they're changing the name means that they don't deserve the name of Warriors. And that's why I'm suddenly just now advocating for Washington Squaws. What? It's not an insult. Women are awesome. Women are the best. Women are super powerful and amazing. And Native American women especially are super powerful and amazing and did great things. So, yeah, Washington Squaws, let's do it. Thamel, cold reality? No one is playing college football in the fall. Well, that's sad. Busby, Washington's problems run far deeper than just a name. I'm really glad that I don't care about college football because I would be devastated at all this shit. That's also why I'm glad I don't really care about baseball. Washington's problems run far deeper than just a name. Eisenberg, what's involved in changing a team name anyway? The kicker, smoked. This high schooler got up against the Chiefs' Tyreek Hill. Wow. This has to be the biggest highlight of this kid's life so far, but with those hops, it probably won't be the last. Up. Well, I want to see Tyreek Hill's reaction. It cuts away before you can really see his reaction. All right. Thanks for reading today's issue of Read and React. And that's it for Sundry Sports for today. Thank you and goodbye.